You are
Unmute
unmute
yourself.
yourself.
You are mute.
I can't hear you, Milan. You are muted.
My electrifying distinguished Toastmaster, Uday Mohanty, my stunning Toastmaster, Jayanti Datta, my incredible Toastmaster, Meena Mohan Kumar, my enigmatic Toastmaster, Joseph Frick Benedict, my fascinating Toastmaster, Adarsh, my fabulous distinguished Toastmaster, Veera Mohan, my splendid Toastmaster, Diya Prajapat, and my astounding keynote speaker, Toastmaster Manya Raj Singhani, and my dazzling Toastmaster Vinu, the timer for the day. I, Milan Kulatkar, Sergeant of Arms, welcome you all to the enthralling, engrossing, electrifying milestone meeting of Speech Weavers Toastmaster Club, Bangalore, Bharat, that is India. Milestone meeting for two reasons. The Toastmaster International, of which your club, Speech Weavers Toastmaster, is an associate, was formed 100 years back. So we are celebrating the Toastmaster International centenary year. And your own Speech Weavers Toastmaster Club is conducting its 760th meeting, 760, which was formed way back in 2008. Our club's mission is to provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members of our club and the audience too are empowered to develop communication and leadership skill, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Toastmasters have helped people from diverse backgrounds to become more confident communicator and leader. The tagline of Toastmaster International is, where leaders are made. To be a good leader, you have to be a good reader, good listener, and only then you can communicate better. And once you communicate better, you become a good leader. And I, as a Sergeant of Arms, request you all to uphold the cardinal principle of every Toastmasters meeting. Keep your audio microphone muted at all times, except when you are invited to speak, and for which I give you 5 seconds, and I too is going to do with you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep your video on at all times unless you're moving in and out of the room. As an encouragement to every role takers and speakers, make sure to applaud them virtually. Role takers and speakers will consciously use the utmost discretion while expressing their views on sex, politics, and religion to ensure the sentiment of audience are not hurt. And I urge each one of you, the role takers and the guests, to rename yourself as per your role, the name of your club, and the country from which you are joining. Friends, do you think age is just a number? Do you agree with that? Well, the presiding officer for today has a vast experience as a civil engineer, for which he has spent total 32 years of his professional life. First 10 years in its first 8 years in India, and then next 32 years in Saudi Arabia, where he had multi-billionaire project done under his supervision, including the desalination plant, the first in Saudi Arabia. And while it was being installed, and opened. He shook the hand with His Highness, the King of Saudi Arabia and King of Bahrain. So please join me in welcoming the one and only, the presiding officer of our Toastmaster Club, Joseph Frick Benedict.
Thank you, Milan sir, for this kind introduction. A warm welcome to all my beloved Toastmasters and guests. I wish you a happy Ugadi and also the holy Eid, which has been celebrated just a couple of days ago, and it is prevailing in the heart and mind of every person of this celebration. Therefore, I try on behalf of my club, I wish you all the best of the happy Ugadi as well as the Eid. Eid al-Fitr it is called. Now, I do not want to waste much time because we wanted to hear more from our chief guest today. Manya Singalandi, the beautiful daughter whom I call for the second time to visit our club for a keynote speech. And this keynote speech is artistic in the words. That was a wonderful title she has given it. And let us enjoy that words from her. So I would like to hand it over to the Toastmaster of the day. He is none other than our DTM Milan sir, who was a retired company secretary, served in the Bangalore Chamber of Commerce, is a member of. He's also a yoga practitioner and he's also a marathon runner. And still he is also a lawyer, practicing lawyer. But let me call Toastmaster DTM Milan to take it away.
Thank you, Joseph sir. You may be wondering, today our president, Toastmaster Adarsh, is there. But why is he not giving the presidential address? Do you know why it is? Because yesterday he was shouting hoarse for his favorite club, RBC, while they were having a match with Chennai. And that's what he has some challenges in his vocal cord thing. So he has taken a back seat and has allowed. So kudos to Adarsh with Krishna. In spite of his challenges, he has joined on time and has been helping everyone, the role takers for the audio visual. Now it's time to know something very important. And especially, as you know, most of us are already contesting in international speech contest and something else, including me. I'll be contesting on April 27th at the division contest. And today the keynote speaker is going to give us some secret sauce on how to speak or how to speak like an artist. So I'm extremely keen to know those secret sauce, and I'm sure each one of you would like to have it. So today's keynote speaker has been a part of Toastmaster fraternity for close to 5 years. Over this span, she has represented and won accolades for her club at various area contests, division contests, district championship of international speeches, temple topics, and evaluation. Her most notable achievement has been first runner-up, that is number 2, in District 41 on table topic contest in 2021. In 2023, at Intel Club Evaluation Contest, she was the winner. She has held various leadership positions, including President, Vice President Education, Vice President Public Relations for her home club, Toastmaster, or to home club, speaking and leadership. For her contribution in District Council as a trainer and mentor, She has been acknowledged as the outstanding member by District 41 and has been twice crowned as a Triple Crown winner. Currently, she is mentoring and conducting training sessions on various facets of public speaking for universities and corporate houses. On personal front, she's a postgraduate of organizational psychology at Delhi University. So please join me in welcoming the keynote speaker, Toastmaster Manya Jaisinghani. Speak like an artist. Speak like an artist, keynote speaker, Toastmaster Manya Jaisinghani. Over to you.
Namaste, and thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Milan. I think I am humbled to hear this introduction and this warm welcome I am receiving from Toastmaster Benedict, from you, and from all the attendees here. In fact, it's like a homecoming for me because Toastmaster Benedict has been generously addressing me as a beti, a daughter, and giving me a family kind of belonging to this club. So even though I'm coming from a different district to a new district, I don't feel like I'm coming to a different club. It's like coming back for me after approximately, I guess, 2 years when I was here to deliver this keynote. And it's been a enormous pleasure for me to come over here and address the gathering on this keynote. So before we begin, just a few things that this session is going to be I would like to be interactive and so that you can also participate with me and it does not become a mundane kind of a lecture from my end. So I'll just start with a very small story on what brings me to speak on this topic on speak like an artist. So before I progress, I just want a heads up, like if you can hear me, see me clearly, just like a cross verification once again. Perfect. Great. So, as Toastmaster Milan pointed out, I've been part of Toastmasters for close to 5 years. That is, I've been playing with words and into the art of public speaking, like the art of public speaking for close to 5 years. However, before I entered into the ring of Toastmasters, I was actually into fine arts, like actually painting arts. So when I was 4, my mother enrolled me into an art class because she wanted me to be an artist. And anytime anyone would ask me that, Manya, what would you like to become when you grow up? Anyone who has been asked this question, what would you like to be when you grow up? I think it's a cliched question we all face. Can I have a raise of hand if you've been? And can I know like what answers did you give back then when you were 5, 6, or like in your initial tender years? Anything that you had in mind, whether it was doctor, policeman, even anything.
Doctor?
Doctor, yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Uday. Sorry, Divya, I couldn't get you. Painter.
Baker.
Baker. Oh, baker.
Yeah.
Oh, I read teacher, IAS officer, air hostess. Yeah, we all just kind of associate ourselves with all the people we see around us functioning. Yeah, finally became a teacher. That's how the life turns out. We think about something, IAS, air hostess, and we come to have these gazetted professions. Thank you so much for your responses. And similar to your ambitions, I shared the ambition of becoming an artist because my parents' vision that one day I will go on stage and I'll get a trophy from Mr. M.F. Hussain for the artworks I might create. However, the journey of life took a way that today I'm a psychologist on my way to become an organizational consultant, and art has taken a completely different turnover. Oh, yeah, farmer again. Very rooted profession. We all just connect with this. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinu. So again back to the artist. So the dream of becoming an artist was alive for long in my life. I learned I learned institutionally fine arts for 10 years of my life. And in that span, I learned all sorts of art which you can think of, like portraiture, landscape, making still life paintings, and what all we can imagine in the paradigm of fine arts. However, something happened around the age of 18 when I entered college, and it's been 5 years since I've touched my brushes again. So I have not touched my brushes again. I'm not doing an art. However, the crux is that the artist within me that matured from the age of 4 to today, close to 24 down the year, I think artist within me refuses to die down. Whenever I speak on stage, I'm not self applauding or telling something about me, but whenever I'm stepping on stage, people say that it's like I'm painting a picture with words. Because the way I creatively put forward the words, the way I compose my speeches, somehow the fragments of artists come out in a way. So today's in keynote, I'll just share about 3, 4 core points or core aspects with which I keep my artist alive, and something which you can also, if you think from my experience, you can take back from and apply in your journey as budding public speakers. So this session is not going to be a key into cracking into a speech contest or something, but it's more going to be more reflective oriented about you discovering yourself and what you actually stand as a public speaker. Because if you read the introduction note I sent itself, we are all, as public speakers, artists in our own way. Some painters paint with brushes, but we fail to paint with with our words. So I'll just start with a few points and let's get started. Are we all around with me and connecting with the perspective I'm sharing? Perfect. So first question I have with you is that how many of you have learned an art? An art, it could be bakery, it could be dancing, singing. I just want your response. Like, have you been into any art? You can give me any response.
I was actually an architect,
Oh,
and
wow.
I was practicing architect also, and I have designed many buildings. But my subject has become a civil engineer due to the job-oriented problems, and that is why I adopted civil engineering and still practicing
Mhm.
architecture.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Benedict. Architecture means an artist with buildings, with drawings, with sketches, and then eventually becoming the one oriented with machines also into engineering space. Thank you so much. Anyone else, any art that you don't even practice but tend to follow? Like if you are a listener of music, any particular taste or genre of music you prefer? Anything that comes to your
I
mind?
also do fine arts,
Oh,
drawings
wow.
and fine arts also. I'm practicing.
That's brilliant. That's
And
really
painting, fine arts, all these are my hobbies,
wow.
and still continuing that.
That's really impressive. Okay, I'm hearing from Uma. I learned embroidery, uh, tatting, etc. Handmade greeting cards too. Love listening to music and sing too. Wow. Okay, that's a varied, very and kind of collated interest you have, Uma. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else who has any belonging with any art? Okay, yes,
I
Divya.
picked. Uh,
Sorry, I
I
didn't get.
play. I play with clothes, as in I take up the new one, old ones, and upcycle it to something that I'd like. So playing with clothes, I like that.
Wow, that's playing with clothes, upcycling them, if I got it correctly. Perfect. So I think that we all have some longings with art. Even if we are not practicing art, we all are surrounded with art. The clothes we wear, the kind of paintings we prefer, the kind of music we like to hear, the kind of movies we watch. So the second question I have is like, once you have identified some art, any specific genre of music or specific genre of clothes, or because if you see, people have a specific style of dressing as well. Some people try to dress up in traditional attire. Some prefer to wear some kind of Western attire. We all have a niche aspect. Like if you ask you to imagine your brother or sister, then an image comes to your mind of them wearing a particular kind of clothes. Does it happen with you? Like you prefer a taste, like in art, but in art you have a specific preference. Anything of that sort comes to your mind? Like, yeah, Dia. So, Dia, any relation you have with this?
Yeah.
I
I
was
like
also,
to
I,
blend.
Yeah, yes, I can go with Dia and come back to you, Toastmaster Benedict.
So
Yeah, go
when
ahead.
it comes to clothes, I particularly like the blend of Indian as well as Western. Let's say I take
Okay.
Indian fabric and put it on a denim. So that I like that. Yeah,
Wow.
Indo-Western, you can say.
Indo-Western, Indo-ethnic kind of Desi Western wear. Wow. Okay. Yes, Toastmaster Benedict.
I was also learned tailoring, and I stitched all my niece and nephews' uniforms, and that saved my expenditure on tailoring, and I learned everything, including ladies' wear, nighties and petticoats, and all these things I still follow and still do that. And not only that one, I embroidery on pillowcase and bed sheets are also I'm doing. So these are all my hobbies. But only thing is when I came to Toastmaster, everything stopped for a while and I could not make so much of time for it. I'm a master in all sorts of architectural things.
That's like so impressive. I think you are a polymath, sir, and an inspiration for all of us. And I think you deserve an applause for having so many varied interests. And as I said, that of course, age is not a number, and you're inspiring all of us at this age to just put our hands into whatever comes our way. And I think that this also speaks of how Indian society has been kind of self, what we can say, self-dependent, and you're also having arts within you, injected in every way. So really inspiring. And I also open the chat box now. I hear Uma saying Carnatic music. Of course, I also kind of sometimes refer to these ragas, and my friend is also into Carnatic music. Thank you so much for sharing that, Uma. So I think that we all have, and also see Udya saying musician and tailoring. And farming, we have organic vegetable farming. Wow. I think my audience is already enlightened and having their own specific zones to engage in. So why I ask this question is, I think that just as you all are into some kind of arts, some kind of passionate pursuits in your life, whether it's clothing, doing farming, or even baking, or something very specific, even public speaking as an artist can be a very specific genre. So the first point I wish to put forth is that whenever you are there on stage or even progressing in your journey as a public speaker, have something we call as a USP, what we call as a unique selling proposition, which means, for example, I, as a Toastmaster, Manya Jaisinghani, have a signature style in Toastmaster that I'm a master with my content. What I mean by saying is that I think I joined Toastmasters in the year 2019, and it was the first time I had taken the role of the Toastmaster of the day, that is the MC. And that day, I took a very beautiful theme of Delhi's food, what kind of food Delhi has. It was a Delhi Nama, and the food tapestry of Delhi was traced out in that session. And after that session, I received plethora of feedback, which was built upon the previous feedback I'd been getting on my speeches as well. And they all said that, Mana, you're really fabulous with the content you have. The way you use the words, the metaphors, the way you create a kind of Pictionary with your words, I think that is what makes you stand apart from others. And that was the first time I got to know that my strength is in public speaking with words, with how I creatively put forward the words. And why I say so, ki you all need to reflect upon your journey as public speakers, that what is your strength in here. So when I say public speaking, what all comes to your mind? Anyone? Like what all words do you hear in Toastmasters? Anything with public speaking, the sub aspects or sub components or types of public speaking? What comes to your mind? Anything?
Picking a subject and speaking on that,
Yeah.
so that depending upon the audience.
Yeah. Audience, kind of audience perspective taking, hooking the audience. Yes. How you make your audience receptive to you. Perfect. Anything else that comes to your mind? Okay, so hooking the audience, if you want to, yeah, opening should be really powerful, like how you need to manufacture your speeches such that audience hooks to you, stays with you throughout the end and engages with you. Perfect. So in that span, I think engaging the audience through stories. Yes, completely agree. So in all of these things, I think that how we want to hook the audience, why would audience hook to you? A, because you offer something different, or you capture the attention which offers them something unique to look up to. If you offer something that all the other speakers are speaking, you might not stand a chance to stand apart. So if you are to speak as an artist, try to stand apart by reflecting upon your USP. Now, if I talk about the domain of public speaking, we have the genre of humorous speaking, we have storytelling, we have body language and voice modulation as the integral components of public speaking. Then we have something which we call as descriptive public speaking, which I often tend to prefer, in which the words take the fourth stage and voice modulation, stage movement, and these things can take a backstage. So in that aspect, once you focus on one particular strength, for example, one of my friends is a theater artist. And whenever he's there on stage, he kinds of create a dramatic perspective for the audience. The way he uses the language, the body language, the voice, it feels like some kind of an actor is stepping on stage. And I've compared to him, me as an introvert person by personality stepping on stage, it feels like a professor is stepping on the stage. So even as Toastmasters, before Toastmasters, we are theater artists, we might be teachers, we might be architects, we might be organic farmers, we might be bakers, we might be coming from XYZ, any other background. And that kind of reflects in how we speak. So the task for you to speak like an artist is reflect on what strength do you have and what kind of USP you can have. Because if you want to hook the audience with the words, you need to carry something unique. And I'll just share my screen and show you some of the artists whom I have been following, and you will see a distinctive aspect which stands out in each and every painting. Any artist you guys know about till I share my screen? Any famous fine arts practitioners? Okay, so I think host has disabled screen sharing. So Adarsh, would you mind just giving me the access to share my screen? Okay, so till the time I get to have it, I'll just progress. So some of my famous artists have been M.F. Hussain. Anyone heard the name M.F. Hussain? Very famous about him. Yes. Any other artists you can recount from your journey of seeing fine arts?
Raja Ravi Verma.
Raja Ravi Verma. Yes. Yes, Toastmaster Milan. Would you like to add Toastmaster Milan? I think you are on mute. Okay, I heard Raja Ravi Verma, M.F. Hussain. Yes, they have been legendary artists. And Raja Ravi Verma, any specific aspect you remember, like why does he stand apart in your memory distinctly?
Because way he presented Indian historical figures in that
Yeah,
cover painting. So that is the only place why we recall our Indian history and Indian art. Otherwise, we wouldn't have never known how were our Rajas and Maharanis and other palaces and kings. He was the person who introduced the historical events in such a beautiful and himself being from a royal family. He made sure that was brought to the Indian audience, and today also we can recall that and see the beauty of our culture. The wonder that was India and still Bihar.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you for recounting that. In fact, the representation of the Indian royalty, even in fact, the sketches of the Indian god and goddesses you see today of Sheravali Mata and all the deities and all the gods, they have been constructed by Raja Ravi Verma. So see, he stood apart for something distinctive he did in Indian art. Had he painted the landscapes, had he painted the portraits and continued to do a variety of things, but not one specific, maybe we might not be recalling him today. And if I talk about, now I'll just see if I have the screen sharing access. Perfect. I'll just show you what I mean with that. There's and share. So can you all see my Google screen opening up here?
Yeah.
Perfect. Sure. So I'll just show you this artist, Raja Ravi Verma first, the one we've been talking about. So Raja Ravi Verma is coming up. So a simple scroll, I'll click on the images and you'll see the realistic portrayal of all the people. You see this famous painting of Shakuntala, then we have this lady, and here. Now let me show you another artist so that we can figure out what an artist is by the work itself. Now let me show you the picture of this artist. If you have, let me know if you have heard the name. Vincent van Gogh. Anyone heard Vincent van Gogh, the Impressionist? See, so his style of painting was that he used to just pick up his paintbrush and put some impressions like blotting on face. Like you pick up the brush, you do not paint, but you simply start blotting up. And his famous painting is this one, the Starry Night, the iconic of his style, like how he has created the entire Starry Night which was available for before him. Now, I'll just show you one more artist and then we'll come back. That is Mr. M.F. Hussain. Just a minute. Yeah. You see, there are distinctive aspects again, so many patches of colors, abstracts, and kind of these representation which are giving out a message as well as painting out of this tradition. So a unique combination of tradition, giving message and abstract paintings, if you see here. Right? So I'll just stop sharing. So all of these three artists have been legendary and known by the field of fine arts. Though they have all been kind of public speakers in domain of arts, they have stood apart for some kind of distinctive aspect. It's that. So they all had the perspective, like they all sketched human figures, they all use colors, they all use brushes, they all use ink. But it was the focus and the very frame with which they distinguished their art that made them stand apart today. So as an artist, just think about what kind of strengths you have, what USP you have, and then start culling out that. Now that brings me to a second point, and that is that as artists, we need to have this kind of patience and perseverance. So how much time do you guys take to write your speeches? Any distinctive aspect? Like how much time do you take to compose one speech?
10 to
Any
15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes?
That's all.
Wow, okay, that's like an experience. I see Dia making an remark. Okay, Dia, how much time do you?
My last speech I took around 4 months or
4 months. Okay. Okay, a day before speech slot in the club. Again, very, very Toastmaster like. Okay, 2 to 3 days. Yes. I think we all take different time, different amount of time according to our personality and how much we like to compose. And I, of course, I think I resonate with Dia when I think that even I take a lot of time in composing this one speech. So I think that as artist, I remember when I used to compose this one canvas, it used to be an iterative process, which means I used to paint this canvas with a one coat of paint, then put water and erase all of it. Then put another layer of paint and then erase till the time the very color became a part of the canvas. Such that color became one part of the canvas and color was one. So by this, I mean to say that even writing a speech, when you're composing it, just connect with you and how you're composing the speeches together. Many people come to me with a complaint that, okay, I'm not able to complete this speech. It's like taking me years and years of efforts. Like in 4 months, anyone can even give up their entire thing of writing a speech because there's no end to this tunnel. And this feeling of getting stuck, like, where is the speech going up? So I think this, if these artists have stood apart in their journey, like if these public speakers have stood apart in the journey, it's because they've given themselves a time to mature. The Vincent van Gogh took merely like an hour or so to create this masterpiece. Okay, how much time did it take to prepare this keynote speech? I think it took me. I just come back to this question over the in the Q&A session maybe because I'll just share like what my strategy of preparation is because I think even how we compose a speech is also very resonant with how what kind of an artist we are. So if I talk about Vincent van Gogh, he was in a drunk state and he prepared this painting in about an hour or so. That was what my art teacher said. Now, if I talk about Leonardo da Vinci, the very painting famous. Any famous painting? You remember Leonardo da Vinci?
Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa took years to prepare. It was like layers and layers. If you just see the oil painting, it has layers of painting. So every artist has their own way of approaching it. So there is no right or wrong way. Somehow we attach ourselves to different kind of role models ourselves. For example, me, I'm an introvert person, and if I attach myself to a person who is very loud and dramatic and say, why can't I speak like this person? Then hold on. Maybe I'm a different kind of an artist and I take a different journey myself to mature a speech. Even if you're taking 4 months, even if you're taking 2 or 3 days, a day before the speech, or even 10, 15 minutes, that's completely fine. It's your process and enjoy the process of painting and writing an art. And if I talk about how I prepared this keynote speech, I think the kind of person I am, I kind of keep preparing throughout the day while I'm working on a kind of a project, the work is there working in my background. I somehow get ideas while walking in the garden, while even bathing, while exercising, while doing other things. And the speech kind of builds up. And towards the end of the day, I just compile my thoughts. So that's my way. So it's like, what is your way? Just kind of be patient with it. And now I'll come to the very last point of being an artist, and that is having conviction. So I was just reading this book, Talk Like Ted. Anyone heard this name? Talk Like Ted, and that's by Carmine Gallo. That's on public speaking. Anyone heard of this book? Yeah, Toastmaster Uma has heard, Toastmaster Veera has also heard. So that book is about an analysis of all the very famous world TED Talk speeches and how these TED Talk speeches stand apart. And the very first chapter in that book talks at length about how even public speakers who were not even having that confidence to face the collective audience on stage were there to express themselves valiantly. And why was it so? because they were convinced with their thought process, their ideas, that I have something to share with the world. I have this fire, there's something unique within me that world needs to know. Whenever I step on stage, I kind of burst with content. I'm brimming with content. When I last time when I came to this club, I gave this keynote on how to find a topic for speech. I think that just like beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, even a topic is in the eyes of the content curator. And I think I see content everywhere, and that is the kind of person I am. And that is why I think this comes because I am always bursting to share something new with the audience. Like before this keynote speech, I was just thinking like how you guys might engage with my speech, how I might entangle you with my words, and how my art would appeal to you. Because I'm really passionate about the kind of topics I speak about. So if you have that passion, that conviction, that sense of curiosity that you need to change and impact the world, I think words would come to you naturally. So whatever is your forte, whether it's humorous speaking, if it's your nerve to just make your audience laugh to their very last bone, or to make them dance on your words, or you are kind of a drama person who can entangle the audience with your kind of dramatic moves like an actor, then make that your kind of the forte which pulls you on stage. So I think find your why. Finding a why is really important. The other day, I went to this art fair and I came across a concept called as guerrilla art. I'll just type that down on chat box, what it was like. GXGUERILLA. If I'm typing it correct, it was guerrilla art. So this kind of an art is a very different kind of an art. And just like guerrilla warfare, guerrilla art is an art which is there for a purpose. So there was this who was painting his pictures with a collection of newspapers, the buildings, and an abstract kind of a perspective to show how people are lonely within metropolitan cities. Like we have metros, we have people, but somehow we are lacking that human bond. And that kind of touched with me because even if that art was not art, it was there for a purpose. So that was what that was the thing which brought him. So find your why. Like, why do you want to be a public speaker? Is there something major that you want to be? Any kind of goal thing that brings you forward. And with this, I come to an end with the points I had and just would like to add a few things more. Like when I've talked at length about finding yourself, connecting with you, reflecting on yourself, then all of this is going to be possible as a public speaker only with one important instrument, and that is being dispassionate about it. You have to be passionate, but you also have to be dispassionate. Sometimes we get so engrossed in our thoughts and ideas, we think that public would love my perspective, but somehow we do not lose the touch of the audience we want to cater to. It's like you are driving a car, you are a driver, but you do not even know where your passengers want to reach. Are they in sync with where you want to go? Like you cannot climb a bus without knowing its destination. So as you all agreed on the point that we need to hook the audience, then think about the audience, like would they buy your art? So what the need is between these 2 points is that to need a striker, find mid balance. Like if I want to talk about my art, like if I wanted to talk about my journey as an artist today, I could have talked about even more nitty-gritties of using the jargons, like using a deco patch, using a portraiture, realism, modernism. I've taken you to an entire history of art and how art evolved. But I didn't do that because I knew I'm addressing a gathering of public speakers and not a fine arts painters, and artists with words and not artists with brushes. So I contextualize my artist to fit into this space. So you need to have this kind of flexibility of being rooted in yourself and also attaching to a larger gathering. So this means even if my forte is with words, it does not mean that I won't be using body language at all. It would mean my focus will be here, but I'll also be having a nut bold and a fair understanding of all the basic concepts. It's just like Toastmaster Benedict is an architect. He knows his art well, but he can also be there into the space of civil engineering. He also has some kind of hold into other aspects of your life about art and other things. It's like having a core and having the spokes in different direction. And that was it. I hope that you all connect with the core, find the artist within, and connect with all. So to just sum up my session within just a minute or two, I think as public speakers, we are all artists. An artist, it's very beautiful saying I heard from someone that you were born original, but don't die a copy. We were all born as an artist having a unique fingerprint. But eventually we start becoming painters when we start copying others' style. For example, in initial journey, when I used to receive a feedback from my evaluators that Mani, you need to speak up like a drama person, more have more of role play, have more of drama. I said, hold on, I can do the role play, but I'll do it like an artist. So don't listen to the evaluator if you think that they are not having a consonance with you. Find that core, find your USP, and that will be the first thing. Secondly, have patience and perseverance to mature your art. It's been 5 years which took me to address this gathering and finding my own style. Start experimenting with every damn thing you come across in Toastmasters. Try humorous speaking, try table topics, try evaluation, try international speech, try everything which is there under the roof of this magnanimous sun. And after you start trying different dishes, you will actually know what flavor touches your tongue the best. If you just take one dish, eat it throughout your life, chances are high you might not like it forever. And lastly, the most important, have conviction. Have the passion which brings your why and connecting with you. And with that, be passionate, be dispassionate, and paint a beautiful canvas with the birds. Thank you so much. And over to Mr. Toastmaster for taking up the audience intro questions with me.
Audience, are you ready with your questions? So make sure to raise your hand and others will unmute you and you can ask the question to the keynote speaker. And just for others, I'm just introducing our timer for the evening, Toastmaster Vinu, who has been showing those timers card. And I really appreciate him in spite of his busy schedule as a manager in an IT company on a Friday evening. He has made a point to join us and is taking a silent role, which is a great importance because that's what Lars Smith with the founder said. In communication, important thing is your content. At the same time, the time of your content and the communication. More time you take and you go out of the time limit, people lose interest. And nowadays it's more important. And that's what a very critical role which the timer Toastmaster Vinu is doing. So a lot of applause to the keynote speaker and the timer. And audience, are you ready with your questions? Okay, I see some of the hands. Yeah, Meena. Please, panelist Meena, she has a question to the keynote speaker. So it can be a refoca. Yeah, that's was quite like the keynote speaker. And Meena, go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Milind sir. Manya, I loved your calm and composed style of keynote presentation. It touched, every word touched my mind. Thanks for that. And I have a question. You mentioned about being passionate and yet dispassionate. The question is, when we're so much in love with the content that we create, how can we take out the focus from being a person focusing on this is the best and look through different lens and understand what resonates with the audience?
Great. Thank you so much, Meena. I think that was a needed question. Like, how do we manage these two poles of passion and dispassion? I think you can follow 3-4 strategies while writing a speech. So, firstly, it's like in your mind. Okay, so let's start like within yourself. So once you've decided a topic and are writing a speech, so any topic that you are really passionate about, I'll just give that example too.
Right now, mandala art.
Mandala art, perfect. Okay, so if you're writing a speech on how mandala art can help you reduce stress, okay, so that may be your topic, like because I see many people doing mandala art, like kind of creating patterns and doing that. So as an artist, you might write a script on how you want it to just seem like. Now, the second, after you've written the speech, that is the first step, think about the different audience you might have. Think about the audience category. For example, if you're going to address an audience gathering at Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club, a collection of architects, a collection of farmers, doctors, a collection of people who are consultants working in IT firms. So you have a different range of sectors within your control. All right. So start thinking from these different people's perspective, like how would my mandala art seem to a person who is working as a manager at an IT sector? How would my speech appeal to an architect? Can that architect maybe apply mandala art in creating his own architecture designs if there is a possibility? Thirdly, think about a doctor. How can doctor maybe recommend someone to reduce the stress? So think about these different people and think from their perspective. Like take empathy. You know what empathy means? Like stepping yourself in another person's shoes. So step in the shoes of an audience and see your speech from their perspective. Second perspective, like after you have done this in your mind, take it to a second person who might be your mentor or your friend or a trusted person in the club and narrate the speech or send them a copy. Like, how does this speech appeal to you? Do you think it's heavily jargonized or is it having any specific language which I need to maybe make more ordinary for the audience to connect with? So that your ideas are also alive, but the very message is also reaching the target audience. And thirdly, what I often do is that when you are preparing for an ISC and you want to test your speech in different waters, then try to hop clubs. Go to different clubs, go to corporate clubs, go to university clubs, go to community clubs. All three have different kind of gatherings and see how your audience is responding to your speech and then take a feedback from all. So it's about testing and trying from diverse perspectives while having the first thing starting with you writing a speech. I hope that addresses.
Yes, perfect recipe. Thanks, Manya.
Thank you so much. Okay. Any other question we have?
Hi, Manya.
Yeah, I see. Hi.
Uh,
Okay, it's
hello.
Rashka. Yeah, hi, Rashka. Yeah, go ahead.
Rachita. First of all, I'm sorry I missed the time when I joined recently. I missed the opportunity to hear you.
Sure.
Can I ask something? I already have some points in my mind.
Sure, please go ahead.
One thing is, how can we connect with you after this session? This is one thing.
Okay.
Other I am participating in ISC, so my contest is on Sunday. That will be area level contest.
Okay.
And I want my speech to get reviewed. So can I get the opportunity to get it reviewed or get a feedback from you?
Sure. Maybe after we are done with the panel discussion or during the panel discussion or after the session, I'll just type down my credentials and we can connect thereafter. And I even see another person writing in here. So I'll share my credentials, definitely. Thank you so much, Ashika. All the very best. Yeah, I see Toastmaster Benedict. Yeah, please go ahead.
So when you are talking about, when you are in a public speech, you are speaking about emotional situations where you can even unable to blow out. In that case, how can you connect, synchronize your speech with the architect way?
Okay, if I got it correct, it means like if you want to speak something which is very emotional to us, and we want to connect the audience with us, if I'm coming correctly.
No, how to introduce synchronize the art in it.
Okay, about managing the emotionality and the content. Is it, if I'm getting it correct?
Artistic content, artistic.
Okay, how do we connect emotionally? Like, how do we connect with an emotional perspective as an artist, if I'm getting it?
How to synchronize. If you synchronize the emotion with the art and all, since you are talking about the art of speaking, so how do you connect when you are in the emotional speech?
Okay, maybe if you can just give me an example so that I can connect better with the question, because if I'm getting it correct, it means like if you're writing a speech, how do we introduce that emotionality or connecting with the audience? Is that correct? Or maybe you can give me an example so that I can get it better.
Suppose I am talking about my beloved who passed away.
Okay.
And I'm telling a story on that one with the emotional. And when you say that the public speech is an artistic mode, how do you synchronize that when you are in the emotional status mode?
Okay, got it. So whenever we are delivering a speech which is very emotionally laden and it's heavy with our personal connect, the side it's coming straight outpouring from the heart, then I think that first thing I asked all the people is to just get settled within them first. Is that if the wounds are still very fresh, if you have lost a dear one just a few months back, or even if it's been years, but you still feel that loss and you start immediately crying or outpouring before the audience and you're not settled within, then think before you're delivering that speech, because that might just hamper the kind of your personal settlement within and also connecting with the audience. So first, make calm with the situation yourself so that you're comfortable to share about that experience. And secondly, if you're talking about a personal experience as an artist way, I think if it's coming from heart and if you're really connected to that person talking about your beloved, I think you do not need any additional tools to even talk about it. If it's coming from an art, it's coming from heart, it's an art in itself. The words might just come from your experience. So
Yes.
if I'm a person who is very content oriented, I might just talk more in words and describe that person. If I am a person who is into an actor and a drama thing, I might just enact that person how my mother used to be when she was alive with me. So firstly, get detached in a way that you are settled, and then just speak about it. I think it would come out. I think that would be my.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I see
So
the
thank
red.
you, keynote speaker, for the fantastic session which you had. And I'm sure the audience has more and more questions to you. So audience, relax. You can still ask questions. You can connect with our keynote speaker. She'll be sharing a contact number. And maybe after the session is over, you can reach out to her and she can connect at your mutual convenience. So thank you. Beautiful. And I'm sure each one of us, whether it's this Saturday area contest or next Saturday, the division contest or something, or even as a professional thing. So let's give a round of applause to the keynote speaker, Manya Jaisinghani.
Thank you so much. And if I can ask a small request, can I get a screen grab of before we all disperse from this keynote session? Like a screenshot of the
Yeah,
meeting.
others, can everyone come on the video
Yeah,
or the
just for 1 moment.
audience, and then we can take a photographs. And thank you, Manya, for highlighting this important milestone meeting with you as our keynote speaker.
It's like pleasure is all mine. It was like homecoming from me after years, and I hope to just see this club again soon. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, in 3. I'll take the picture and I'll share it with you.
Great.
Sounds good. Thank you. I'll just take it once again because I think we probably missed out on a few things. In 3.
Unmute your videos, everyone.
Yes,
we
I'll
can-
request all the
Thank
others.
you,
to
Uday, and others to join.
Yeah, your expression as an artist, like how it was like.
All right, in 3, 2, and 1. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. So with this electrifying keynote speaker, we are going to the enchanting panel discussion. And for that, we have a fantastic moderator for that. She's a fresh graduate. She loves talking about things that shouldn't make any sense. She's just kidding. And Toastmaster got her talking about things that actually make sense. And that's, I fully agree with her. So she's none other, our moderator, Diya Prajapat. So Diya Prajapat, please join us and let's spotlight her. Now it's my pleasure to welcome the panelist number 1. There are 4 panelists, so I'm just picking them randomly. So all of them are important. She's the owner and operator of a nursing home. She does help people from challenging background to have their health taken care. Her profile exemplifies a remarkable individual who not only excels in healthcare sector, but also actively contribute to social causes, fostering positive changes in the lives of marginalized communities. As an owner and operator of a nursing home, she excels in providing quality care. That's just one of the things. On professional accomplishment, she helps in rehabilitation of sex workers. She has actively contributed to the rehabilitation of sex workers working towards their social integration. Her nursing home employs 2 staff members who are children of sex workers, highlighting her commitment to provide opportunities and support for those who are in dire need. She also helps in rescuing and rehabilitating the above victims. She has been involved in rescue and relocation of girls ranging from the age of 4 to 45 who have been victim of abuse. She has partnered with NGOs to ensure these individuals, unfortunate individuals, receive necessary care and support to rebuild their lives. She also supports old age homes and orphanage. In addition to her work mentioned above, she also actively supports old age homes and orphanages. Her commitment to well-being of vulnerable population extends beyond her immediate community. And she's also a Toastmaster, and her achievement in Toastmaster, she's a member since March 2021. She has been an active member of Toastmasters since then, utilizing the platform to enhance her communication and leadership skills. She was second place in District 124 International Speech Contest. She has exceptional speaking abilities when reorganizing her and in getting the second place in the district championship. She's also a winner at the division contest in humorous speech and continuously focuses on enhancing her communication skill. So please join in welcoming the one and only, the panelist number 1, Jayati Datta, Toastmaster Jayati Datta. Can we spotlight her? And now I move to the second panelist. He's a distinguished Toastmaster who have defeated things like frustration, anger, aphorism, and his lovely family for Toastmasters. Being very enthusiastic and keen learner at Toastmasters meeting, he has acted as a magnet for his life. Till now, he has completed 6.5 years of his journey by being associated with 3 different districts, that is District 41, District 8, and District 92. In this journey, he has been keenly associated with Toastmaster clubs in Kolkata, Chennai, Bangalore, and USA. You can always find him in Toastmaster clubs, events with all enthusiastic members, anywhere, wherever he travels. He is a dual heart person who is connected by heart with his name, and since his name is, I'll disclose the name afterwards, and a heart inside. He's bonded with family and relatives with affection, love, and care. He loves helping people, loves caring for others, and loves to spread smile everywhere he goes, even if he himself carries heavy heart. Currently, he's working with Accenture with content management system. And he is none other than the one and only distinguished Toastmaster, Uday Mohanty. So may I welcome him and let Uday Mohanty be spotlighted. And now is the time to welcome the 4th panelist. He's also a distinguished Toastmaster club. He's also a distinguished Toastmaster. He's a member of Mahakavi Tamil Toastmaster Club. And he is the Vice President of Education. He's also a member of Abu Tamil Bilingual Toastmaster Club. He's the Charter President of Shah Alam Toastmaster Club. He's a member of Chartered Institute of Marketing UK. He's an entrepreneur and investor. He conducts yoga and meditation classes and programs. He's also an NLP, neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. So please join me in welcoming the panelist, distinguished Toastmaster, Manoharan Veera Perumal. So with this, I hand it to our panel moderator to take it forward. Dia, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Milan, for introducing all of our panelists and myself. Let's start off with the panel discussion. What exactly is it about? Gender parity or simply gender equality? You know, to me, gender equality it must start from the place where I am right now, my home, where the norms must be followed equally, both for myself and my brother. Why am I asked to wash the dishes all the time? Why not my brother? Will it hurt the little man's ego? Yeah, it might, or it might not. Well, to dig deeper into this topic, let's use our panelists, right? I can't be going on and on. We have four people exactly for that reason. And before I commence further, I'd like to divide this panel discussion in two chunks. The first half chunk will comprise of two distinct questions directed to each of the panelists and will take 5 minutes each to answer both the questions. All right. The second half of the chunk will consist of one common question directed to all of the panelists, which might have contrasting or similar opinions. Right. My first question to Toastmaster Jayanti Datta. Here goes to you. What are the biggest obstacles to achieving gender parity in various sectors? Example, workspace, education, politics, etc.
1 minute. Here I would like to say that put one question each, one round, and second question each in the second round. Then the common question for all. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So a little change in the paradigm. Do I repeat the paradigm again? Okay, we'll go ahead start with that. I'll start with Toastmaster Jayanti again. I'll repeat the question. What are the biggest obstacles to achieving gender parity in various sectors? Example, workspace, education, politics, etc. Over to you, Toastmaster Jayanti.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Good evening, dear. And the question which you have asked is such a humongous one. You can't just boil it down to maybe 3, 4 sentences or 10 sentences. It's one huge subject. Gender parity, as you rightly pointed out, it begins from home. Just as you said, charity begins from home. Even this begins from home. And the basic thing, what we need to do while discussing or probably bringing a change in gender parity is your thought process. You need to change your thought process. For example, let me tell you, I'll give you an example of my own story. When I was growing up, in a very big joint family, and I'm the firstborn. I have brothers. After reaching a certain age, my mom told me, okay, time for you to learn cooking. I said, why? Why do I need to learn cooking? She said, you need to depend on yourself if you're hungry. I said, fair enough. I'll learn cooking. Some more days go by and she says, you need to do all the household chores. I said, why? Do you want to depend on people to keep yourself and your environment clean? I said, fair enough. Let me learn it. So I learned it. Then she said something. After a few years, she said, it's time for you to get married. I said, why? She said, because this is the age all the girls get married. I said, no, I don't agree to that. The boys in my family, they are not given any kind of rules or regulations like this. They have choices. They can make the choices. We, as women, right from a young age, we are taught, okay, you're reaching a certain age, not do this. Another age, all these things, and all this is in the norms of the society. So when my mother said, you need to get married at this age, I said, Mom, I'm getting married. Forget it. I'm going to do my studies and I'm going to establish myself and I'm going to stand on my own two little feet. My mom was furious. She blew her top, just how she went all. Whew. And she gave me one condition, which I still and I will always do. If you study, you need to prove yourself. Now, what she meant was that, very honestly, if your studies don't bring in the mullah, you don't stand a chance of staying in the house. You have to get married. This is one thing which really, really hit me. I was thinking that the men in the house, whether they earn or not, just because they have that male thing stuck onto them, they are males, they have all the independence of choosing at any point of time in their lives. Why are we not getting that kind of an opportunity? Why don't we do that? So that was the beginning of change in my thought process, which I kind of filtered it onto my mom. She was in that space where she agreed, okay, so this is not done. If I am saying, I told her, you tell us that we are like your eyes. So how do you ignore one eye and you look after one? You can't do that. That was the beginning of a new relationship with my mom, as well a new kind of thought process in my mom, which supported me towards progressing in my career. When I was down in the blues, I was not being successful, I was not getting what I needed from my profession, I was not being accepted as such. So you see, my friends, when you talk about gender parity, it definitely and surely begins at home and with our thought processes. In the education, you see how many girls go to school. I'm not talking about the cities. You come to the villages and you see the census, you see the statistics. There are hardly 2 or 3 girls, and the rest all are boys. Why? Because the girl has to look after the younger siblings at home. That is the question over there. When you look at workplace, where the two women are still paid 21% less than what males are paid doing the same job. It's the statistics. So if you want to bring in gender parity, my friends, we need to change our thought process and we need to change our thinking. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jayanti. It's ironic how certain choices are chosen for us while choices are given to our counterparts, right? Another quick note, let's not take more than 2 minutes to answer each question. And obviously 30-second buffer time still applies here because we are still in a Toastmaster meeting. With this, I move ahead with my second question to Toastmaster Meena. Tell us, how can we encourage more women to pursue leadership positions in traditionally male-dominated fields? I repeat my question. How can we encourage more women to pursue leadership positions in traditionally male-dominated fields? Over to you.
Thank you, Daya. Let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, as we go higher up in the hierarchy, there is a dip in the women ratio taking up leadership positions. Now, how do I say that? Being the core member of driving the initiatives to bring in women associates in my organization, I see the HR data speaking to itself. Now, there are various factors, not just limited to India. I'm bringing the perceptions with respect to corporate organization because I work in a corporate organization. Across different countries, there are various reasons. One, relocations, because the family is getting relocated, or career breaks because they have to take care of the newborns, or the kids are in 10th and 12th grade. They have to take care of these kids, or in-laws or parents who are quite elderly, and because of these reasons they step back. There are a lot of other reasons too. Now, how do we address this? Of course, if you are someone who is passionate to have your journey in leadership, no one can stop you. If you're looking for an accelerated process, go for courses. You can do your MBA in IIMs. It adds a lot of things in your resume. No one can question you and stop you. Let your resume speak for itself. Or the other short duration, other things you can also do is PMP certification or Agile Coach certification. Look for what's needed in your organization and complete them. No one can stop you. The second one is, once you are into that domain, how do you keep going? Of course, there are times where you have to choose between your family and the organization. There could be a few setbacks. In these cases, have a very strong support system. When I look up to leaders who are in the higher position, one thing I know is this support system is so strong that they can give a call and say, take care of my kid. For instance, my manager's daughter was admitted in hospital while she was away to present to the customer. She had to put her emotional stuff aside, call up a support system and say, please take care, and still go ahead with the work. So have a strong support system. And three, understand the initiatives that are happening in organization, because every organization is understanding this disparity and they're bringing in a lot of initiatives to uplift women. So get in touch with your HR or senior leaders, understand the forums that are available, and through these forums, you can certainly shine. So how do we address women to go higher up in the hierarchy? Do these fast-paced courses like MTech or MBA, whichever is relevant, or certification, so that your resume stands out. To get in touch with your managers, other support systems that you can have in your home, so that at times of difficulties, they're there for you and you can focus on your work aspect. And three, of course, stay connected, network with the forums that is available in your organization. Short, many people using these techniques have gone up higher in the hierarchy even after a career break. Back to you, Divya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meena. I think we are just one course away from throning that big title. And always, one must have some sort of support pillars to keep going forward, right? With this, I move ahead with my third question directed towards Toastmaster Hriday Ranjan. I don't see you here.
Yes. Am I
Okay.
audible? Yeah.
Yes, you are. Yeah, I see you there. Okay, got you. So my question to you is, what are the biggest, pardon, how can we celebrate and promote successful women and non-binary individuals as role models to inspire future generations? I repeat my question. How can we celebrate and promote successful women and non-binary individuals as role models to inspire future generations? Over to you, Toastmaster Hriday.
A very good evening, everyone. Successful. Successful is a keyword that is given by a society for something that we want to achieve. And we segregate successful and failure like anything, and that lead to a lot of causes. And especially when it comes to woman, who are we to decide whether she is successful or not? The question is, have we given the opportunity to her be successful? We are defining the society to a girl that she is not educated, she couldn't pass the matriculation, she couldn't get married, she cannot bear a child, she cannot sustain a relationship. There are a lot of parameters that we are segregating a woman in society and telling that these women are not successful. But consider to the man, even if he is a divorcee, even if he's not good at study, even if he is not able to bear a child, we don't segregate a man. We as a society are only just bifurcating the man and the woman in this parameter. So I truly believe every woman in our life is a successful, no matter whether she is because at the end of she is a creature given by the God, a gifted child to this world, and everyone comes with a artistic nature, artistic a peculiar nature, the best of one thing that she carries when she comes to the world. Everyone is different, every girl child is different. So we should not first of all define a successful or unsuccessful, because everyone come here with a purpose and they are all successful. We can only define the successful with the certification of appreciation, the awards, the recognition, everything. But coming to the question, how can we celebrate that? I truly believe that every woman should be celebrated, that for everything they do. First of all, as we've been discussing, that we should celebrate the success of a woman in a house. Do we appreciate the food that she prepare, or you just have it and pack it to your tiffin and go to the office? Do you encourage her that yes, you are a very good cook, you can open a the food delivery channel, you can deliver food outside, even if you're taking care of my kid, you are taking care of my parents, but have you encouraged her to do that? But not that. Do you appreciate your mother not being forget about the things she has done for you in your childhood, but whatever she is doing it? Do you appreciate your sister, your daughter, everything? But we don't celebrate. But when you go outside, we just show off to the whole world that yes, this I appreciate her for recognition. We pretend to be a different person. But I truly believe that first you should be promoting the woman in your house with the food that prepare, with the things that keeps her ready before you go to office, or keeps CV takes care of 70 things, or 70% of the things, and the man we do the 30% of the things. If we start promoting them in a house, in our society, and definitely they can go to the other aspects of the area. For example, as I told about the successful women in a house, we can as a vice president of my society, what I have done, that many women are good at very good skills. Some are baking skills, some are good in preparing sweets. What I'm basically taking care of that vendor management as a vice president, along with the vice president responsibilities. I have told every promoter that in case you want to do anything, you want to put any stalls in the festivals, please do come up. We will not charge anything, but people should know that this flat, this woman is good at this. This flat, this woman is good at this. So everybody should know that every woman, though she is a housewife, she can be successful in baking things, in cooking things, in teaching things. Everything has been promoted in our association, and that can go forward in an organization or the higher levels. Talking about the non-binary individuals, we are again segregating them as a successful and unsuccessful. As I told, that every individual is successful. Even the non-binary individuals are the people who have been gifted to this child, gifted to this world with a purpose. Do we encourage them, or do we just avoid them when you see in the roadside? If you do that, you are not doing. If it is irritating, you can definitely avoid it. But if she is a human being just asking for some kindness, be kindful to give that help, so that you can be a kindful person to her. You can encourage. Suppose I have seen in Toastmaster fraternity also, we have called the transgender women who have done a lot of things for the society to deliver a keynote speech. And that makes a difference. That even being a she is transgender, even she being she has done a lot of things for society. And how can we represent? How can make me that call her to the stage, promote her video, make a reel of her that share among everyone? You can see that all are successful. Everyone, if you can, this COVID time, we have seen that a lot of women, the hidden skills have come out like anything. They are promoting, like they have different food channels, they have that and exercise channels, that they are promoting themselves. But we as a man, when contribute, be a part of that successful, they become more successful. But we are the person should not define them that whether they are successful. We should only do that, go and give a try, and that will definitely inspire the future generation. First your wife will do, your daughter will do, and then your granddaughter, and things will go ahead to the future the future things, or the organization, or the state level, the community level. So it will go ahead. So this I'll hand over to Dia.
There is one thing I would like to mention here is that each question is taking 5 minutes. I said 2.5 minutes only, because the second question again 2.5 minutes. So each person takes 5 minutes. If you take one question for 5 minutes, the meeting cannot go on. I have to stop that one. So please make sure that you answer within 2.5 minutes, one question. Okay. Now we can proceed, Divya. And Venu Karthik, please make sure that it is only 2.5 minutes, not 5 minutes.
Yeah, the timer should monitor the timing because you're following the time set in the screen. So the panelists are following the timing set in the screen.
Yeah, that is what I'm also feeling it. So I would like to have all the questions answered, because this is a special meeting, but at the same time, it should not extend beyond a certain limit of time. Kindly note that. Thank you so much. Divya, you can proceed.
All right, let's all buckle up and crunch our answers to fit the time frame. With this, I'd like to come to my first question to the last question to my next panelist, that is Toastmaster Veera. This is the first question for you. How can organizations ensure that their policies and practices are inclusive and supportive of gender diversity? I repeat, how can organizations ensure that their policies and practices are inclusive and supportive of gender diversity? Over to you, Toastmaster Veera.
Good evening. So when we talk about organization, how can they practice that are inclusive and supportive of gender diversity? First and foremost, as some of the panelists are also agreeing, when we talk about gender disparity, first, we cannot impose our view on organization. Let me give you an example. My sister was working in a camera manufacturing company, Japanese company. She and my very close friend, best buddy, was jobless. So all three of us went to the same college. We have the same education. We were at the same educational level. My friend joined my sister's company 3 years after she joined. She was working there, and he was given as the executive while my sister was the operator. And both were doing very well, and both were sent to Japan. While my sister was sent there as operator, and my friend was sent there as a quality control executive. And they came back. And my friend was earning twice more than my sister. My sister was not given the opportunity to become an executive because she was a lady. So my father was very annoyed. I said, my daughter gave you this, recommended you this job, and now you are controlling her. You are her boss, and you're earning double the pay that my daughter is earning. Why is this disparity? We ask why? Because this organization, this Japanese organization, they have this standard. Ladies are meant to be operators. Men are supposed to supervise them. So can we change any of this? What is the moral of the story from this example? My sister did not give up. After leaving from this organization, she started her own business. She and her husband had a construction company. Years later, my friend is now working for my sister. So coming back, we can't change that things that are out there, but we can always change what is within us. I always tell my two lovely daughters, you work hard, you prod on, what you put in comes back, send back to the sender. What is that you put comes back. So don't allow other things or what the organization should change. First change must come from within. This is my point. Thanks for the opportunity. Divya, over to you.
Master Hriday, a wise man or a wise woman, I do not know the gender, but they said, if, if be the change you want to see in the world. So you are the change, right? With this, let's move on to the second round of questions. We'll start
Now
with
it's time. Fantastic, Divya, for a great session. Now it's time for our conclusion because this is a beautiful session which we have. We'll take it offline and we have to know. So may I request the presiding officer, Toastmasters Joseph, to share the vote of thanks as well as conclude the meeting. Over to you, sir.
Actually, it so happened that the introduction has taken more time than the questions and answers. So that made a little bit of time consumption. And anyway, I can give one question for common question, all to answer in 1 minute. Can you take it that one? Last question, common question, 1 minute for each of the panelists. Go ahead, please.
all right. The common question to each of the panelists is, what does gender parity mean to you and why is it important? As well as share an experience wherein you witnessed or experienced an example of gender parity in very few words.
You are given 1 minute time only.
Yeah, we'll start with Toastmaster Meena.
Absolutely, they are. Dictionary says gender parity is having equality, equal number of men and women. To make that happen, how can we do? Support each other. There are times where men come back from paternity leave, they're still not okay to resume with work. There are times where women come back with maternity leave, they're still not okay. Beyond the genders, let's support each other to make everyone feel inclusive. And one example that I can think of is my cousin. He's supporting his wife because my niece and nephew are in 10th and 12th grade by staying at home and taking care of their studies, and my cousin's wife is going and working because she cannot drop out from the career ladder. So let's support each other beyond the lens of gender, and that is gender parity for me. Back to you, Dea.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meena. We'll take one from Toastmaster Jayanti.
I think I've already answered this question to a certain extent, but I could just add one line, and that is be aware, educate yourself, and don't be a fool. Just don't listen to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Go according to your thought process and your readings. And you have Google, isn't it? It will guide you all the way. Over to you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Jayanti. We'll next up move to Toastmaster Hriday. Over to you.
So good evening, everyone. So I would say that you have to encourage every woman that comes in your life, starting from your mother your wife, your sister, your daughter. If you encourage, listen to them, and just celebrate each and every day as a successful day, and don't wait for the final moment of successful that yes, he will prepare the best biryani of this world. That day will never come. Every day for the effort, just celebrate that. And that way, when every day becomes successful, every woman becomes successful, and this world becomes successful. Thank you.
Last up, Toastmaster Vida.
Thank you. Gender disparity cuts both ways. am involved in some social work, and one of the help that we can give, we have single mothers division where they help the single mothers, but they are not talking about single parents. When I take the men who are single fathers, they say cannot. This is single mothers. So why is there unfairness? Why is the men single out? So gender parity must be fair, must be unbiased. Of course, ladies have broke a lot of barriers. Toastmasters International only allowed ladies to come in 1973. It started in 1924. Yet ladies are coming up forward. At the same time, we must also look behind. Help the men too. We help whoever needs to be helped. With that, thank you for the time. Over to you, Divya.
Thank you, everybody, from supporting each other to being aware of our surrounding and to encouraging and having a fairness and unbiased environment. And that's exactly how we tackle gender disparity. With this, I conclude the panel discussion with a little haphazardness, but we made it through. And back to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Divya. That was a wonderful session. And unfortunately, the timings were not properly followed, and thereby we missed 4 questions. So that was really a question that has to be answered. Actually, I thought, and anyway, we will again come back after some time, or you can even directly put that one to our speech viewers club, your answers also. That would be, I will appreciate that one in that way. Now, it is my time to say thanks to all of you, especially first I will take up the special guest of ours, Manya Jaisingini. The wonderful speech that you have given as a keynote speech was really great, and it is valuable and a lot of takeaway in that one. And I really appreciate all your wisdom that you have provided to us today in the form of public speaking is an art also. That was a wonderful decisions. You set up how to manage that one. And you are given 4 points, which are really need to be adopted as and when you speak on public platform. I also thank all the panelists, each one of you have given a wonderful answers. Given the time, you will definitely give more and more wisdom from your mind and heart to speak on the gender parity. Today, this is a very important subject, which I have chosen only for the sake. This year is actually for the women celebrations only for the entire year. So that is why I have chosen this one and the gender parity. And everybody has really put their heart and mind into the question and given a beautiful answers. And it will be recorded and you can take away any time that you want. And I thank you for such a coordination and thoughts that you have put up in panel discussion. This never happens, but this I have created this only for the sake of the Women's Year. And secondly, I also thank all the role takers, whoever has made this meeting a great, great meeting for today. I really loved it, and so much that we cannot forget this one. Every contribution from each and every panelist was a great thing to remember and to adopt. This is up to one's mind and heart. Finally, I only say that thank you once again and have a great evening with your family and friends. God bless you. One more thing I would like to say before I will just adjourn the meeting, and I will give you a minute for you to look at my art. The meeting of 6:70 is adjourned.